All right, what's up, y'all? So I am coming at you from Bern, Idaho. Look at that view. This is what I get to wake up to every morning and have coffee and watch the sunrise and come out here and eat dinner and take breaks. I'm just so blessed right now. I'm up here staying with my parents-in-law, Arnica's parents, as a transitional step as we look for a place to live in Utah. But anyway, I want to share a podcast with you guys today. I want to encourage you to listen to this. And I'm going to give you a couple of my takeaways to encourage you to listen to it. I really encourage you to listen to it because I thought it was really powerful. And there's a lot of things that I listen to and pick up on as I go throughout my days that I want to share, but I don't want to overwhelm you with everything that I think is good, right? But if I do share it, then I feel like it's almost crucial in some ways. And before I get into it, I just want to say that I am cautious about sharing things that could be considered conspiracy theory. And at the same time, I feel like where the world is moving, I have no other choice but to share the things that I believe in. And from my perspective, because it comes from a place of wanting to help and heal, my intention is pure. And so this is never, like nothing that I put out, ever about vaccines or non-vaccines or, Republican versus Democrat or pro-choice and not pro-choice or trans or not. Like it's never about any of that stuff. This is about mandates and non-mandates. This is about maintaining our personal freedom to some degree. This is about furthering humanity and doing this together. I feel like we are literally in Star Wars, and we're the rebellion up against the Empire because you guys know, I feel like I'm speaking to the choir here. I think we're all on the same page. We have a lot of our institutions have been captured. That's the way Brett Weinstein puts it, meaning that power and corruption and money have gotten to the point to where they've completely corrupted like our government, our medical system, our universities, and so on. Okay, so what we need right now is to band together, and we always say it. Personal health is your number one priority because with personal health, you're relatively self-reliant to some degree, but we want to move in this direction of being more and more self-reliant as individuals, as families, and also as a community and group because we don't know what's going to be happening in the future. So anyway, this podcast I thought was so great. Jordan Peterson interviewed the author of Live Not by Lies. I'm not going to try to say his name because I messed it up before, but it was so good. And I love the phrase live not by lies. And in summary, I'm going to give you 2 points that I took away from this. And then again, I'm encouraging you to listen to it for yourself. First of all, live not by lies is basically saying, look, we're in this time right now that we need leaders to stand up and be vocal about what they believe and be vocal about their disagreements with things. Okay. And especially these people that have a lot of followers and platforms, it's extremely useful to have that because the reality is that most people feel the same way that we do. That's what I encounter when I go out in the streets and I talk to people and people that I don't know, right? But it's hard for a lot of us to be vocal about the things that we believe in. I mean, look at how we have a hard time just talking to our friends and family members about the way we eat and how we wish they'd eat, So, but at a minimum, what he's saying by live not by lies is at least do not say things that go against your values and do not live in a way that goes against your values, meaning do not go along with the mainstream narrative or do not go along with, sometimes it's easy to just not say anything and go along with things because it's way more difficult to buck the system or buck the whatever it is that we're talking about, the context. But what he's saying is at a minimum, if you're not going to be vocal, live your life in truth. Okay. Now you can take that to a personal level for sure. Be honest all the time as much as you can with yourself, with people that you care about, don't lie. But I think from a broader perspective, we're talking about things that serve humanity, things that if you don't agree with mandates and that's just one example. If you don't agree with mandates for certain things, try not to go along with it. Live your life in truth. Find a way to just be the truth that you believe in, which doesn't necessarily mean that you have to be vocal about it. Something along those lines. I just really love that. It really changed my perspective on just understanding that actions really do speak louder than words. Okay. Now, the other big takeaway for me was this definition of happiness. We say a lot of times in our talks, I've said it many times myself, is that why are we doing what we're doing? Because we want to be happy. We want to live this amazing life, right? And that health is one of those precursors to that. And if you have health, then everything's a little bit better, right? So I feel like, and this was a discussion they had that really resonated with me. it's only in this modern world that we have the audacity to always be seeking happiness, because the reality is that some people on this planet are in situations that are horrific, and they don't have the ability to find the kind of happiness that we're looking for. And I feel like in this search for happiness, a lot of us are, anytime that we're uncomfortable or in a life situation that we're not happy with, all of a sudden we think that there's something wrong with that. And I'm starting to understand more and more that life is about challenges and problems and overcoming these things. And actually, that is where you find the most satisfaction, is by going through difficult situations and facing them head on. I was having this conversation with Arnica the other day. We're going through some very turbulent times right now, but if we had everything the way that we wanted, if we had all the money that we wanted, we lived in a place that was beautiful, we had no stresses, we could just not do anything every day, like what would we do every day? I don't know. I'm actually excited to see life as a series of adventures and challenges. And so I think for me, just having this conversation where I reframed, what it is to mean to seek happiness. Maybe happiness comes from living a life of truth, regardless of the life situations and how bad or good those life situations are. Maybe happiness comes from the satisfaction that comes from facing challenges and adventures head on, and they may not be pleasant, but coming out of that, you experience something that's hard to describe, but we all know what we're talking about. I'm just going to give you a couple examples, and I'm going to shut up. So when I went through infantry basic training and my specialty courses afterwards, that was really tough for me at 18, or was it 20, yeah, 18 years old, going through basic infantry basic at Fort Benning. Like, it was, for me, it was pretty horrific, you know. And of course, when I was in it, I wanted nothing but to freaking be done with it and get out of it, right? But then I look back on it, and it was one of the best times of my life, one of the most empowering times of my life. I learned so much about what I could do and what I could tolerate and what I could put myself through, and how to team up with other people and go through something. When you with other people going through something terrible, all of a sudden it becomes something that's like you all remember, and you form this bond with. And looking back on it is just one of the most transformative experiences of my life. Same thing when I went to college at the U.S. Military Academy at West Point. That was not a normal college university situation. And of course, when you're in it, you're like, this is so austere, and you have your academic challenges, your fitness challenges, your military challenges, and all this other stuff. But then coming out of it, I look back and I'm like, that's some of the best times of my life, not because it was enjoyable, but because of the challenge that it was, and then I overcame it, and then I did it with other people. So, and that's just a couple of examples. I look back on all my life, and my satisfaction comes from doing things that are difficult. Think about some of your most challenging workouts, and you come out of it. It's not enjoyable in the workout, but afterwards, you're very proud of yourself. So for me, listening to this, reframing my definition of, or considering, my thoughts around happiness, and reframing it and saying, hey, maybe happiness comes from living a life of truth to the best of your abilities, and living a life of facing challenges and adventures head on. And I guess that's all I want to say about it without going on too long. So please listen to this podcast. All right. We need to be ready for what is coming, whatever the heck that is. And the more of us that can be on the same page with this, I think the better. Okay. Thank you so much for listening. I hope that wasn't too long.